State characteristics of transformed function. Here we have a cosine function which is y equals to 4 cos 4 theta minus 240 degrees minus 6. And you need to write down all the characteristics of this function. Treat it as a test problem. I have picked it from a test paper. Now, so characteristics normally which we expect you to know are time period, amplitude, phase shift, axis of the curve, domain, range, x-intercept, y-intercept, and number of cycles in 360 degree span. Okay, my recommendation is when you get an equation like this, first and foremost factor 4. That will give you the k value, right? So you should start from here. So let's start from there. So we get 4 cos of. Then we use square brackets to factor 4 out, and then the normal brackets theta minus divide 240 by 4. So you get 60 degrees bracket close minus 6. Now all the answers are very clear in this equation, correct? Time period. So what is time period? I have purposely kept it right on the top because at times there is a confusion. Students write 4 as the time period. 4 is not time period, it is k value, right? Time period is 360 degrees divided by 4, correct? That is the time period for this function, right? Which is 90 degrees. And those of you who are working in radians, well, this is in degrees, so there's no point talking about it. For those of you who are working radians, there will be 2 pi divided by k value, right? Since this is degrees, we will write all our answers in degrees, right? Amplitude. Amplitude is right there. That is the value of A, right? So A is equals to 4. That is the amplitude. Phase shift is by how many units the graph shifted, right? So the peak starting from normally with 0 actually starts 60 degrees later. So it is phase shift is 60 degrees to right. Axis of the curve. Axis of the curve is this value. Y value of this is y equals to minus 6. Domain for all our function is theta belongs to real numbers, correct? Range. Now range is kind of interesting. For finding range, we need to figure out what is the maximum and what is the minimum of our graph, right? So let's say this is our graph. So I'm just taking this graph here and showing you how to find range. So we have here. So that is my y equals to minus 6, right? So this is at minus 6, correct? Amplitude is 4. That means from here you will go maximum 4 up and 4 down, right? So if you go 4 up, then it is minus 6 plus 4, right? And if you go 4 down, then it is minus 6 minus 4, right? So that gives you this value of minus 10, right? And the maximum value of minus 6 plus 4, which is minus 2, correct? So that is your range. So range for us will be y, which is greater than equal to minus 10 and less than equal to minus 2, correct? So that becomes your range. Well, I could have written here y belongs to real numbers, so that is the set notation in which we can write range, right? Okay, so you would write an interval notation like this also, including the values, right? So from minus 10 to minus 2, right? That is also there. X-intercepts. As you can see here, the graph is actually having no x-intercepts at all, since this is minus 2. So the x-axis is somewhere there. Do you see that? So there is no x-intercept here, correct? So that is the x-axis, and the graphs are 60 degrees later. So y-axis somewhere here for one wave of one time period, okay? So they're just for 90 degrees, whatever. So there are none x-intercepts, correct? How about y-intercept? Of course, the graph is periodic, right? So there will be a y-intercept, correct? So to find the y-intercept, you have to put theta equals to 0 and calculate, right? So that is the best way. Just put theta equals to 0 and then check y value, right? So then y equals to, for us, if I put theta 0 here, so I can use this equation. It is cos 4 times cos of minus 240 minus 6, correct? So that is the value. So, well, to find this value, you can use like this also. If you say minus 240, that means what? I'm taking time to make you things understand. They're not so time consuming when you really answer this question, right? Minus 240 means you will go from here, this is 180, and you know this is 270, right? So 180 plus something, you are somewhere in this quadrant. Correct? Because minus means you're going counterclockwise. Correct? Now, well, cos of minus theta is cos theta, so you could have worked it the other way also, right? We're just going like this. In either case, this will be a negative value. If you go from here, you'll end up here, which is also a negative value, correct? But the important thing here is that it is, now what is this angle, right? And what is the acute angle which you need to, so acute angle is 60 degrees, right? Which is here, 60 degrees, right? That is the acute angle. And since cos is in quadrant 2, it has to be negative, correct? And our triangle for 60 degrees gives us the real value of the cos function. So let's make the triangle here itself, okay? So 60 degrees triangle, let us say that is 60 degrees, and for that cos value is, this is 2, 1 square 3, cos is half, right? Since it is in quadrant 2, it is negative half. Therefore the value is 4 times negative half minus 6, right? So that is negative 2, negative 6, which gives me negative 8 as the answer, right? So the y-intercept will be at, you can write 0, negative 8, right? So that is the coordinate for the y-intercept. Now, number of cycles in 360 degrees span. So this value of k actually gives you number of cycles in 360. So that is the beauty of k, right? The time period is 90 degrees, that means there will be 4 cycles in 360, correct? So number of cycles in 360 span is 4. So this is that value of k. So I hope from here you understand all the things required for the characteristics of the function, right? Now how to find maximum value or minimum value from the equation, that's kind of critical, right? So you add and subtract to the axis of symmetry. And how to find number of cycles, directly read the k values. How to find time period, divide 360 by k, right? So all these values can be found from the given equation. And it's very important to understand them. I hope you do. If there are any things to discuss, write on your comments and share with your friends. Thank you.